Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, my beautiful brothers and sisters, twin flames. Welcome back to my channel and to this video. Thanks to new subscribers, thanks to the viewers that follow me for a long time, if not years. I love you guys. Now, today, as I promised in my previous video, I will talk about some really amazing events that had occurred during my return from my physical 3D twin flame journey overseas to Europe and of course as I said, return back to United States. And these things I was contemplating whether or not to share them publicly, but you are my family, you're my soul family, we are all interconnected, and I believe not sharing this information would maybe keep some important things from you that you may need to hear right now. And there's reason why you came to this video. Probably it's something you need to hear because, like I said, we're all one. So on my way leaving my town, Marin had put me on a bus, like I said. I wish I could have seen Miriam one more time before I was on the bus, but that was not possible. And I felt so much on my way when the bus started, when the bus was leaving my town. And I'm going to put the video on the screen in a couple of seconds. When my bus was leaving the town, I felt immense pressure in my heart chakra, and I cried violently, and I was shaken inside. It just was so hard to leave. At the same time, it was needed to be done, and it was time to return to United States. It was time to leave the place. It was time to leave the capture of the karma as well. At that point was no point of return. And so, as like I said, as I was leaving, the local time on the clock was 1:15 p.m. And you can see on the video right now the waterfall behind me. And like I said, there was storm and earthquake going on in my heart. And there was a man of Indian heritage sitting across from me, and I was really shy because he saw tears. You can see him right there. I was crying, and it was like unstoppable tears, and I felt like my heart is gonna burst at that moment. And as I was going, as the bus was leaving, I passed by I'm sorry, not Marin, Miriam's house, and that was also very emotional. So, like as I was leaving, you can see on the map the point where it's circled on the left side of the screen. This is where my hometown was. And so my bus was going in that direction to the right, pointed to the star. Now I'm going to explain in a minute what the star on the map is. I didn't put the star on the map. I just showed the road where I was traveling. So just before I hit that point on the map where the star is, it was 3:10 p.m. on the clock when the bus had arrived to the part of the map where the star is, into a little small town of Travnik. And I put the spelling on the screen. And we arrived at 3:10 p.m. My heart was still shaking and trembling, and I couldn't seem to calm down. And before I was seated on the bus, I forgot to buy a bottle of water, so I just desperately needed water. And as the bus had arrived into bus station at 3:10 p.m., the bus driver stopped the bus, turned around, and he announced that we will have the break for 30 minutes so we can go buy some drinks, go to the toilet, get some rest, smoke some cigarettes, whoever's smoking. And so I just rapidly left the bus and took my wallet with me. And as I stepped out, my first intention was to buy a bottle of water. So I saw the sign on the bus station. It said supermarket, and I walked into a supermarket and was heading towards the water area, water aisle. And just as I reached for the bottle of water, and I felt strong energy in my hand, uh, just kind of transferred to the bottle of water, and I just looked at that bottle of water with the name, with my name on it, because it's called it's the local spring water, and it's named it has my name on it. And I was just that moment I just stopped and thought for a minute. At that time, which was exactly 3:13 p.m., all the shelves that were in the store started shaking, and the water bottles, everything fell from the shelves. I'm not kidding you. And I felt under my feet, as at least that was the feeling that I had, was that the ground had moved about an inch to the right and then to the left. It was sort of like if you're standing on escalator or something, like a console or something, like a moving, maybe on the boat or something like that. I don't know how else to describe the feeling. Now, all the workers in the store started running, and like as the shelves were like shaking and things started falling, it lasted for about a minute, I guess. And I smiled. I just didn't know myself, like in 3D. I didn't know what was happening, but I just for some reason I smiled, and I felt great amount of relief. At that moment, my heart stopped shaking as the ground shook, and people were just like running around, and it stopped. And then I went to the counter to see what's going on, and they said it was the earthquake. And the people's mobile phones started ringing in the stores. The customers were answering the phones, and or calling someone. And then the cash register lady, she returned to the cash register. She was all shook up, and she said, "Oh my God, I forgot what was I doing last. I forgot the what kind of transaction I was doing." So she had to ring someone up all over again. I was standing in the line right behind that person to pay for my water. And I myself wasn't aware what was going on, but like everybody said, it's an earthquake. It's an earthquake. And we waited for the bus to leave 10 minutes later, because the bus driver decided to leave. Just he was waiting for a few more minutes to see if the earthquake is going to continue or not. Then he was in sort of state of panic. He wanted to leave because he said we were safer if we just keep on moving on the bus. And I went into the bus, and I felt complete stillness and complete silence in my heart. My mind was racing with questions. What the heck just happened? I don't understand. But my heart was suddenly mysteriously calm, and as if all the pain, all the worries was just taken away from me. And that was scary and mysterious at the same time. I really didn't know what was happening. And I was contemplating, and things were rushing through my mind. And the first thing I did was I texted Miriam, and I said I just felt an earthquake, and I am leaving. I forgot to say goodbye. I didn't forget. I was just not in a position to say goodbye to you, but the love between us was more powerful than this earthquake, and I will not forget that was just impulsive thing to do, that I sent that message out to them. And I received a phone call from Marin, actually, asking me, have you felt that? He said he was on his balcony in our hometown, which is the starting point on the map, and he said everything was shaking here too, and he was watching the news. So he said the epicenter of the earthquake was right at the spot, at the town where I just stopped, where my bus stopped, where I put my feet to the ground at 3:10 p.m. And earthquake happened exactly at 3:13 p.m. and lasted about a minute. And they said it was 5.2 on the Richter scale. So it was pretty much felt all across the country, in the capital, in our hometown. And they said it started on the mountain, where basically my bus just the bus just went through the mountain, just maybe 10-15 minutes before we arrived to the epicenter of the earthquake. The bus had went through the mountain where they said it originated, where the crack originated. So that was wow moment for me, and it kept me thinking. And then I made a short stop in a town called Zanica, where I had some relatives, and I slept one night. I had one night stay there, and then next day in the evening, I had another bus heading down to Dubrovnik, as you can see on the map, down on the coast of Croatia. And so my bus was leaving next day in the afternoon, and I was supposed to sleep over in Dubrovnik in a hotel for one night, and then my plane was leaving in the morning. So when I arrived in Dubrovnik, this is you can see on the screen the photo that I took um, on my way to Dubrovnik, and a little bit of video. There was just a little bit scattered rain just before we came to Dubrovnik, and then in Dubrovnik it was really sunny, and there was a beautiful sunset as I was arriving to my hotel. And I basically just repacked, had a very little sleep. I sat on the balcony, no, not balcony, the terrace, like a little garden in front of my room, and a nice lady who rented me a room. It's like a private hotel. It's very nice and cozy, and she offered me some tangerines on the tree, and I took shots of a tangerine tree that night, and I was just trying to get some rest until the morning, early morning flight. And when the morning had arrived, it was sunny, and it was at the sunrise time, actually. It was very beautiful, peaceful day. But then again, I woke up a little bit too late for my flight, and I got a little scared, and I was right across from the airport. So I grabbed my bags, and I was rolling my heavy suitcase, and I was shaken when I arrived at the airport. And there was an old lady. She kind of questioned me. She said, "What's going on? Why are you so shaking so much?" And I said, "I'm just afraid I'm gonna miss my flight." And I made it, actually, and it was just a lot of sadness that was going over my heart when I saw Dubrovnik from the plane as it was leaving the coast, as we ascended into the sky. I was leaving Europe. Um, my emotions are flowing right now, and so I put down the blind on the window. I just couldn't bear leaving the coast of Adriatic Sea. I was just so emotional at that point, but I had to be strong for my return, because returning home to United States is also part of this journey. And after all, my original, my organic twin flame that started all this in 2010 is here in United States. So I was strong and I left. And for those who don't know where Dubrovnik is, if you haven't heard about Dubrovnik yet, uh, lately it was always famous. It was first town slash republic that had signed American Declaration of Independence. A lot of people don't know that fact. I do, because I come from that part of Europe. So Dubrovnik was once a republic, a state, a city slash state on the coast of Adriatic Sea, across from Italy, and very powerful harbor and Mediterranean travel spot in past times, and now it's a cruise spot. A lot of cruises to Mediterranean come to Dubrovnik, and so they signed the American independence. They were first one who accepted America independent from England, and so that was their past, and it's still very thriving tourist destination. But in the past couple of years, it became more famous because it's where they filmed the scenes from the famous TV show Throne. What's it called? The Game of the Thrones. Uh, it's old medieval castle. It's on the seashore, and this is where I met up with twin flame embodiment Asim back in May. We met up in Dubrovnik. He was waiting for me there, and then, like I said, I was leaving here on November 5th in the morning. This November 5th, 2019. I came in May. I was leaving in November 5th. And yeah, this is the scene from the Game of Thrones, I guess, or from the game. I think it's from the video game anyway. So that's one of the castles on their coast. And as I was putting down my blind on the window, I was just thinking back to May when I met Asim, when we merged together as twin flames, and how powerful that energy was. And finally, I left. My next stop was Germany. Just a short stop in Germany for a couple of hours. You know, the customs, and exiting Europe, entering the international skies, and then I arrived into Colorado, and next was my hometown here in United States. I safely arrived home, and after a long flight, I met up with my family here, my parents, my animals, and then I had like 24 hours of sleep. When I woke up and went to social media, I was shocked to the core, because a friend of mine who I met, who is from Dubrovnik, a lady from Dubrovnik who I met on the bus, she posted a video. That just after I left, a violent storm of never before remembered in that area, a tornado like cloud formation, and the storm had hit the walls of Dubrovnik. And that was just after I had lifted off the ground from there, and actually as I arrived into my final destination here in the United States, that storm swiped off the coast so violently. As you can see on the screen, this is the original video from the coast of Dubrovnik, and they don't have tornadoes in that part of the world. So I was, like I said, I was shocked. I was watching in awe, and I couldn't believe that it was just right behind me, and that it was hitting the coast so violently. When my mother watched this, she said she vacationed in Dubrovnik so many times during the winter, during the summer, during the spring, in the fall season, and she's never seen such huge waves. This is not an ocean. This is a small uh, Adriatic Sea. So this was huge violent storm, and weather just day before was beautiful, and it was so sudden, and my thoughts were just running wild. I knew immediately that this energy was either following me, had something to do with my precognitive feeling, but somehow I couldn't shake off the feeling that as I was leaving the area, I was leaving a trail behind me. Not a trail of destruction, but necessarily, because none of these, neither the earthquake, thankfully, nor the storm had caused any injuries to any humans. It was just kind of like a sort of like a warning, sort of like a sign of some sort, and natural phenomenon, but nobody was hurt in these two events. And I just this is Croatian, Bosnia on the map, so this is, for me, these are my twin countries of origin. I originated from both, and I have strong emotional connections to the both countries, and I can't separate them in my mind. So, being aware that I'm only human, and that Allah, the creator of the universe, the source of all that exists, is ruling over everything and controlling everything, um, is part of my belief. But also being aware that we are manifestors of reality had me puzzled to come down to the bottom of it, what happened. And I was seeking guides. I was seeking guidance. I was seeking knowledge to be shown to me why. I knew it was related to me. I know I didn't cause it directly, but I did cause it indirectly in some way or the other. I didn't want to cause it, but it happened no matter what. And I knew that that pre-feeling before it happened was related to the power of my twin flame magnetic field, and the energy of overwhelming emotions that were rushing through my chakras as I was on my return away from the area. And so it took a couple of weeks of rest and healing process to come down to conclusion what happened. And it just came, as always the knowledge comes uh, when the teacher appears when the student is ready. So I guess my body needed to rest, and my mind as well. And then last night I was attracted to a title on the video of the reading of the lady. I just can't remember her name on top of my head. And the title of the video was, "You need to see this. This is important message for you." So I checked on her reading, and as she was shuffling through the cards, and I picked, it was like a pick a card reading. So I picked certain um area of her recording where it was 53 minutes and 53 seconds, where she picks a pile, and then my phone was showing a 53 battery charged at 53%. And then at that time she had 53 likes on her video, and she pulled out the card that said, that had a number on it. It was numbered 53, and it was the card that said storm, and it had the eye of the storm on the card. And she talked about that storm that clears the negative energy, that actually storm clears up the air from the accumulation of too much negative energy, which in translation is pain and hard experiences and tower moments. And that's exactly what I felt in my heart prior to these events. It was overwhelmed with so much that had happened in the last 6 months. So as she shuffled through the cards, and I got interested in her reading more to hear more what she has to say, she said that uh, the light workers and healers that have natural gifts of healing given by the source, by God, by the light, sometimes need to heal internally themselves so they can continue their mission of healing others with either touch or long distance healing or just energetic healing when someone is in their presence. Next card she pulled was the Archangel Michael card. And as she pulled that card, immediately I had channeled message come to me. It was so sudden. It struck me immediately that none of these events was caused by me, and I knew they were not caused by me. I'm only human. I may be light worker, I may be earth angel if you wish, but I am just a human. I'm in the human form, and soul of light, yes, and a light worker, and someone who wants to heal others and wants to have a mission of light to help others on this planet. And that's the whole point of twin flame reunion, to merge the energies of masculine and feminine into one, so that that power can be magnified and evolved into a much stronger energy that can actually feel it can heal people around you immediately. So to become one is the point of twin flame reunion, and that's my aim. That's my aim, and it has to be done internally as well. So uh, then I realized that Archangel Michael is in both Christian and Islamic literature described as the higher angel who protects the twin flames. He's the angel who protects love and light on earth and positivity and healing powers, but he is also the one who brings the storms. He's the one who causes earthquakes. There's many historical events related to Archangel Michael in Christendom and in Islamic literature, like I said, and in this painting, this is an Islamic painting of Archangel Michael, peace be upon him, for guiding me, for guarding me, for following me, because I realize now that I always knew, and I always know, and I always feel that guardian angels of twin flame journeys are all around us and protect us at all times. But sometimes I myself forget that. Sometimes I'm just human and I get overwhelmed by emotions and feelings, and I forget that I'm constantly being protected and watched and loved, most of all. And I'm just going to mention something that Marin told me after we met and after our own union. He said that next day he had a dream, and in that dream he saw me walking into a room full of people, and I was followed by four very tall dark men in very beautiful long red coats. And the way he described them, I would say they were dressed in old Turkish or Pakistani type of uniforms, red uniforms. Many times Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is depicted in the red coat. And so he said that he saw me being protected by four of these beautiful men, as he described them. He said they were very tall, handsome, and dark. And my organic twin, by the way is very tall and very dark and of Indian heritage. And so, anyways, when he described them, he said he asked them, "Who are you and why are you following her?" And constantly on her sides. And they told him, "We are her guardsmen. We are appointed to guard her." And then in his dream state, they told him that two out of the four men in red uniforms, in red coats, will stay. Two of them will stay with him, that they were assigned to stay with him, to protect him furthermore in life. And that they were sort of my gift of my higher self, of my fifth dimensional self, to him, as he played a part on my twin flame journey, that he is now appointed these two guardsmen to keep eye on him and guide him to the light path in his life. And after that, like I said, he became clear of toxic substances that he was using. He started looking for new directions in life. He really changed almost overnight, and I kind of attribute that to the guides that follow him. And I believed him when he told me the dream. He said, "Maybe you don't believe me this." I said, "I believe you completely, because I feel their presence. I feel my guardian angels at all times. Just I actually never saw them envision how they look like. I can feel their presence, and I can feel strong masculine presence, but I never seen them. And so thanks for the depiction of them." And um, to me, I kept that information for myself. To me, it was that the way he described them is as if he was describing my organic twin flame lookalikes, right? That's kind of something to think about. Anyways, back to Archangel Michael, or Michael, as we call him in English. So I went instantly on Google. I was just driven to go to Google and find out more about Michael. And like I said, it says that he causes tornadoes, storms, earthquakes, but of both warning and good nature, because some of these events in the past, they caused for example, a mountain to split and the water to gush forth, the new springs formations, and powerful warnings to some parts of the world. And I just have deep sense of knowing that this was the Archangel Michael doing. He followed me, and to me, it's a sign that he's all around me. He's protecting the twin flame journey, my mission, because my intentions are pure light. And the reason why I want to be reunited with the masculine form of twin flame, whoever it is channeled into in 3D form from the 5D. The reason for the mission is to help others, to help this earth to heal, to help humans, to help animals, to help 5D reality be more downloaded into 3D reality, so that basically what is above so is below, so that basically we can create heaven on earth, and love and light to be part of life, and to stop the suffering of the meek, and so that the meek may inherit the earth. That's my That's my intention. And if that intention is pure, then it's logical that the angels will protect and guide you. So I hope you took lesson from this video yourself, that you may have been experiencing something similar, or will be experiencing something similar, so that you are guided right ahead, or that you take this information as beneficial to your own journey or your own life path, so you can understand better what's going on with you. And I'm grateful. And last night I also divinely found a prayer that is related to Archangel Michael, peace be upon him, to keep him as part of your life. But of course, it's God who appoints angels to our realm, and I feel humbled and I feel undeserving of his presence. But again, all in God's wisdom and knowledge. He knows best what's in our hearts. And so I will continue this journey with full strength, no matter how meek and weak human sometimes I feel. I know that I'm guided and divinely protected. And now I just want owe you a recommendation for two movies that I've been meaning to tell you for a while, and I keep forgetting. So when I explain twin flame channeling, it's very hard to describe what happens. How does your 5D twin flame energy can be channeled through someone in 3D form? So I highly recommend that you see this movie titled Every Day, where basically, I don't want to spoil it for you, but the first like 15 minutes of the movie will probably be confusing for everyone, just like it was for me, until the movie develops further and you can understand that the girl, the feminine character in the movie, experiences a very similar thing to what I experienced with the twin flame channeling. The 5D energy of her twin flame inhibits the different body actually every single day. In the movie, every single day, her twin flame wakes up in a different body, and very confusing, like I said. But then you will see how this channeling works. It will be mind blowing and eye opening for you to see this. I think the movie was done wonderfully, and it's probably not seen by many people, because probably people miss it on the shelves thinking, or on the on the movie channels, because they probably think it's just a romantic teenager movie, but it was very surprising plot. So check it out. It's called Every Day. And then just yesterday I saw amazing movie that describes how we get connected through 5D energy, and how we meet, and how our energies merge in 5D sometimes, uh, regardless of what the 3D body, what kind of shape or form it is in. So check the movie called Just Like Heaven, and you will see it's also amazing, very entertaining, very beautifully made movie that describes the 5D connection between two people, and how it actually turns into a 3D connection. So these two movies, excellent for twin flames. A little bit of relaxation, a little bit of eye opening. I highly recommend them personally. I was amazed by both plots, and just check it out. I love you guys. Relax, be happy, be healthy, stay well. I love you all, and God bless you all. May the angels protect you in all the good ways, and may God always be with you, and peace be upon all. Love you guys. See you soon.